Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News for Wednesday, December 3. A special welcome to our viewers on YouTube, TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. I'm Carrie Simpson. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
Death toll from Hurricane Melissa last month remains at 45. Government considers using AI to improve procurement process. And later in sports, Mount Pleasant FA wins CONCACAF Caribbean Cup.
Now the details. Up first this afternoon, the death toll from Hurricane Melissa last month remains at 45. However, according to Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, Commander Alvin Gale says that 18 people have been reported missing. Despite this, officials say the security of the affected areas remains stable.
Across the island, some 1.6 million buildings have been assessed by GeoAI. Of that number, we have now assessed 215,000 to have some level of damage. It is estimated that 156,000 of these buildings will have varying degrees of roof damage. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security, with strong sectoral support, has been able to date complete some 31,000 damage assessments as we work to ensure all buildings are assessed and develop plans for immediate sheltering and the rebuilding. As it concerns logistics and supply chain operations, the logistic operation has been scaled significantly since the onset of the emergency. To date, just over 100 shipments representing more than 2,000 metric tons of relief supplies have entered Jamaica. These include food, hygiene products, medical supplies, shelter material, and other equipment.
Meanwhile, Mr. Gale says the National Water Commission, NWC, continues to restore water supply across Western Jamaica and other areas affected by the Category 5 system.
Today, some 82% of NWC customers have been restored. 61% of the customers in the western parishes have been restored. That means some 60,000 NWC customers in the western parishes do remain without a piped water supply. Significant work continues to ensure that all Jamaicans will have access to safe water, as this is critical to hygiene and sanitation matters. The National Water Commission and partners have already delivered approximately 10 million gallons of water to affected communities. The National Water Commission has also deployed 12 additional water trucks. These resources have been strategically positioned across the island to ensure equitable distribution of safe water. This will ensure the delivery of over 145,000 gallons per day to affected communities.
The Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, has begun a land cleanup exercise in Golden Grove, Eastern St. Thomas. This in an effort to support farmers by improving access to their farmlands. Alia Bryant has the details.
Following the merciless wrath of Hurricane Melissa, the Golden Grove community in eastern St. Thomas was significantly flooded, resulting in debris pileup. President of the Golden Groves Farmers Association, Robin Brown, says this initiative will assist farmers boost productivity.
The condition of the roads before were caved in, as in the overgrowing of vegetation from both left to right, which makes it harder for the farmers to access their crops and their produces when it is time to go to the market. So with this road clearing initiative for the farmers, this would allow greater access for them to producing greater, getting to the market easily, and for transportation.
She adds that other key provisions needed to increase productivity include planting materials and proper land preparation.
It will be a start, and a ready start that we all need as farmers right now within the eastern end. Based on the devastation that we experienced from the flooding, this will be a welcome start. In terms of the volume of production that we are expecting the eastern end of Jamaica to be producing, we're looking at approximately 60%. And based on the inputs, based on what is recommended and suggested, is approximately 60%.
But while grateful for support from both private and public sectors, Director of the Association, Nigel Levy, says the government must improve disaster preparedness for the agriculture sector.
Last year we have been through Beryl and we haven't really fully recovered. And this year we are going through Melissa, which is more devastating. What I figure there should be something on document. So if after this time we would go A, then we go B, then we go C. But we are still running up and down, still trying to get pieces together in terms of where do we go forward.
Mr. Levy says as a result of this, recovery will be extremely slow.
Not only preparing for the disaster, but where do we go after the disaster? Because right now, shortage of seeds, and we are in a mood for recovery. You understand what I mean? Running up and down in terms of getting on contractors for doing land preparation. All of these take time. So procuring things, it takes time in order to get it back. So as if you're supposed to get input. We are 1 month now after the breeze and we haven't gained anything yet. We will be 1 month in production already. So we will just waiting like the next few weeks to start reaping. But we haven't started yet.
Aaliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
The Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, says it is monitoring the billing relief measures announced after Hurricane Melissa. The OUR says it has written to the utility providers seeking details on how they plan to treat customers in the immediate aftermath and the months ahead. JPS has suspended disconnections and late fees until December 15 and is offering flexible payment plans. For its part, the NWC has paused billing in the hardest hit areas from December until service is restored and says it will review November estimates while extending its MSME amnesty program to December 31. Digicel and Flow are also pausing disconnections, waiving late fees and offering rebates. The OUR says it will continue urging fair bill practices. The government is contemplating the use of artificial intelligence to help improve the procurement process. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement on Tuesday as he again lamented the challenges under the current system.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government continues to face persistent procurement challenges. He notes that delays in acquiring goods and services are slowing key projects across the country.
The very dense bureaucracy that we have, and while it is there, and necessarily so, to protect the value of the public purse and the value of what the public purse purchases for the benefit of the customer, we can't sacrifice that level of compliance. But there must be a way in which compliance can be accelerated.
According to Dr. Holness, a number of sectors are affected.
A few months ago, I was here handing over 8 units, which took almost a year under procurement, or probably a little bit more than a year. And then I had said at that time the NWC should go and procure more. So they procured another 8. Now those 8 are still in procurement. Still in procurement. These 12, however, given the devastation of Hurricane Melissa, and there are so many persons now who don't have water as a result of the disruption in the public utility supply, we have had to use the emergency procurement procedures.
The Prime Minister says efforts are now focusing on artificial intelligence to speed up processes. He says AI could streamline decision-making and reduce bureaucratic bottlenecks.
What is emerging now as a new school of thought is how can we use technology, specifically artificial intelligence, to accelerate some of these bureaucratic processes to give the confidence of scrutiny and compliance, but at the same time, speed of service delivery. And this is something that we have already started to contemplate. We had announced a few months ago the formation of SPEED, which is our process to review the public bureaucracy with a view to enhancing speed in terms of how services are delivered.
The move would mark a major step toward modernizing government operations. Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
To a TVJ News update, 29 Haitian nationals found at a property in Edgewater, Portmore, have left the country. The Haitians entered Jamaica illegally between November 26 and 30 on 3-day transit permits to Panama, however overstayed. They were captured following a raid at the Airbnb they had been staying. It's understood they were picked up from the airport by taxi or Juta operators, checked in, paid and were assigned rooms. TVJ News has since learned that the property has been under police scrutiny. It's further understood the owner was warned and will be interviewed as investigations continue into the use of the premises. It is now time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It is now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica is today withdrawing another $31.5 billion from circulation through its latest fixed-rate certificate of deposit. The central bank says $29.9 billion will be made available to private financial institutions and individual investors through competitive bidding. Another $1.57 billion will be offered to the public sector on a non-competitive basis. The instrument carries an annual interest rate of 6% and will mature on January 2, 2026. Interest will be paid at 25% of the face value when the instrument matures. Further afield, Costco is suing the Trump administration and alleging some tariffs are unlawful. It appears to want a refund if retailers win a separate but related Supreme Court case. Costco says it's been trying to keep down prices, but says tariffs make that difficult. It imports many items it sells and has to pay an applicable duty on those goods. The Trump administration is trying to convince the Supreme Court to let the tariffs stand. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Shane Masters.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
Report, we look at dengue.
Vulnerability is pretty much universal in the sense that once you're exposed to being bitten by mosquitoes, that is your risk. With dengue, the extremes of life do fare worse. So the very young, the very old, if they have illness, may end up with a less desirable outcome than the healthier population, adult population.
That's the Health Report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Get rid of standing water. Use mosquito repellent on exposed skin. Keep windows and doors screened. Sleep under a bed net if needed. Wear long sleeves pants and socks. And keep your surroundings clean.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Caribbean Airlines will discontinue several regional routes as part of its network optimization program. Effective January 10, 2026, flights to Tortola and San Juan will end, with affected passengers offered refunds. Caribbean Airlines will also restructure its Barbados hub in February 2026. The airline says the changes will improve reliability and long-term sustainability. And on the international scene, the Trump administration says it may withhold SNAP administrative funds from Democratic-led states that refuse to share data on aid recipients, including immigration status. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the information is needed to prevent fraud, but the states argue the request is intrusive and unnecessary. The agency stresses that only administrative money is at risk, not SNAP benefits. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aaliyah Bryant.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your Midday Sports Report.